lot of people don't realize that or understand that, but now we are in a position where the perfect storm is brewing. And my private mentorship has known about this for a while. I've talked about it publicly as well in the last year. They have obviously weaponized food and the production of food. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just do a little research and homework. And a lot of people that denied me, the stage talking about it early on when nobody else was talking about it. They thought it was lunacy. Just because you see it on your grocery store shelf doesn't mean that it's not occurring. There's a lag. Okay, everything you buy in the store, canned goods, vegetables, and things like that, that was last year's crop, and the production for all of 2023, that's going to be significantly less. So that's going to create a shortage, basically, and the cost of those types of foods are going to go up, which is kind of like what I want to talk about today. And you may be thinking, well, what's this got to do with anything? How's this affect the S&P? How's this affect crypto? How's this affect, my day-to-day life? Well, it means things are going to get really expensive, probably hard to get. And if they are not producing much of it, that means the commodity market is going to be extremely bullish in the grains. Corn, soybean, wheat, those types of commodities. We'll probably see historical rallies in 2023 because of engineered famine. The folks that were in my private group, were fearful. They missed it. I said, this is not it. That the initial run up, that was just based on this year. The dollar has rallied, and commodity mega trade type scenarios for commodities to go up vertically, like in the 70s in the grain markets and stuff like that. Go back and look at old historical moves, and you'll see that it had really amazing run-ups. And then we had some more in the 90s, which was fun. But we're going to see something we've never seen before, like parabolic. Like, it'll make Bitcoin's rally look like a Judas swing. Yeah, because it's the whole world. The whole world is going to feel that pain of not being able to have enough food. And all these rich cats out there buying up all this farmland makes you wonder, why would they want to do that? Remember, I was telling, if you're in my private group, when we saw them talking about the creation of water futures. In other words, there's a commodity contract that trades water. So I told them, I said, we're going to have a problem with that because if they're trying to make water tradable, well, what that means? They're going to start manipulating it like they do everything else. So water's an issue. That's become an issue for farmers. And all of these things go under the radar of the average person. You go up to your bed at night and you fall asleep thinking about how you don't want to go to work tomorrow or next week, because Friday night when you go to bed, you're thinking, I only got 2 days. I got to start all over again. How's this ever going to make its way to your attention? It won't, because the news isn't going to tell you prepare for that kind of stuff. So as a trader, as a speculator, some of the sharpest people in the world are commodity traders. The folks that are long-term horizon type individuals where they see like crop reports. And I'm not claiming I understand all that, because I don't. But I see all these little things that are coming together perfectly. Okay. And I've been bullish on dollar for a while, and I try not to pick tops in any market, really. And I've went out and said that we could probably see dollar at 120. Now, in recent market action this week, and with the recent discussions because of Saudi Arabia saying, we're going to go in the direction with Russia and China and Brazil and India, and they're all forming this anti-dollar movement. And that's one way of taking the dollar down, because if they get Saudi Arabia to sign on, what does Saudi Arabia need our protection for? They feel like they got the bear and the dragon behind them. And That type of thing makes me think about the book of Daniel, that fourth and dreadful, terrible beast. It's starting to look like that. BRICS nation, you know, is it. But that's another discussion for another day. Thought I was going to start preaching, didn't you? The dollar may be showing initial signs of, well, if Saudi Arabia is doing what it appears to be doing, our dollar really has no value, has none. So that sets the stage for we need a replacement. We need to have something to replace it. Okay. The central bank digital currencies, they're going to become a thing, and every nation is going to have their little thing. And that will also fail. And the one fix, the solution will be the one currency. Whatever currency that will be in the future, I don't know. But I am telling you, and Raja, listen, you can crack jokes all you want, but Forex is going away. Might as well get used to trading other markets because Forex, foreign exchange, is going to die. Just like open outcry pit trading in commodities, it doesn't exist anymore. Forex is going to go away. It's not going to be accessible to you. You're not going to be able to do it. So if you'd like to sit around and pretend that that can't happen, it's going to be an abrupt shock to you when it's done. Now, will it be done in the scope of banning it? I don't know, but we will not be able to do it. Okay, so you need to be thinking about alternative ways of speculating and trading. So there'll always be companies out there, these companies that make money selling goods to people because there's going to be people that are going to be consumers. They're going to need services, those types of things. My attention shifted back to my roots. I'm in futures trading again. I don't want to touch Forex. I don't ever want to be back in Forex ever again. Index futures, easy. When there's a mega trade, something significant, then I'll trade those markets like the grains I'm talking about in the beginning of this conversation. So if we can look at the whole macro perspective for a moment, okay? And this might be a little bit boring for some of you, but just understand where, man, that did not sound good upstairs. I'm trying to think of where I'm at and what that sound could have been. Give me a second here. That would be a table sliding on a floor that better not be leaving a mark. All right, that's going to be in my head now the whole time we're talking. So the dollar, if this is correcting, okay, let's go as far as to say, let's say the dollar has topped. I'll play devil's advocate for a moment. I don't know for certain that it has because I try to avoid picking tops and bottoms and long-term moves. But let's just say that the dollar has seen its high for the next 12 months. Okay. I'm not stating that I believe that, but let's just say that it is. That would set the groundwork for lower dollar. Commodity prices are allowed to go higher then because when dollar goes down, grains, meats, oils, all those types of things, it's real easy for it to rally because there's an inverse relationship. So if dollar's been going up, it's real hard to have mega trades where these currencies, or not currency rather, these grains like corn, soybeans, wheat, the things that people use to make the food, anything you eat, you go to your pantry, you go to your cabinet, you go to your refrigerator, open it up. Those things that are in there, unless they're main staple items like eggs, milk, sugar, salt, flour, you if you're buying something that's processed, all of those foods have multiple things inside of them. And it's been gathered from the world's grocery store, mainly like United States, we're a big bread basket. Russia, they have a grain export as well. And you see these big countries are saying, no, we're not doing it. We're not exporting. We're keeping ours. And I've been telling my private group this for almost 2 years. And they think it's going to happen right away. Like it's something that's okay. you're not going to have food in the grocery stores this weekend. No, you need to prepare, get ready for it. Get a 2 year, at least a 6 month stock of non-perishable foods and go through them, use them, and replace what you use. Because in 2023, we are going to see crazy famine level nuttery. It's going to be nuts because grains will not be coming to yield like they normally would because fertilizer costs quadruple almost. Okay. If you tell a farmer you can't use this much water now, and this is how much fertilizer costs, and now you got too much carbon, so you can't plant that much. You see where all this is going? This is the next big thing. So you're all waiting for crypto to come back alive. That's dying. Okay. Forex is dying. Food. Food. That's going to be the market that people will absolutely be buying up because you need it. You don't need a crypto. You don't need a Forex. You don't need it. You don't need it. But everybody needs to eat. Everybody has to feed themselves or their young ones. Now, what are you willing to do to keep from starving? Now, contrast that with what you're willing to do if you miss a crypto trade or a Forex trade. It's annoying. But what happens if your children are hungry and you don't have anything in the pantry to feed them? You're going to start thinking about things that you necessarily wouldn't be thinking about right now and what you do want to do. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a God-fearing man, but I know I would be doing things that would probably be very unsavory to make sure my family eats. If you have extra, I'm going to ask politely the first time. And that's just being real. Imagine the whole world like that. That's going to make food prices go through the roof. And it's all being engineered, not in one country, everywhere. So we're seeing that potential turning of the tide where dollar has been rallying aggressively, really, really hard, aggressive. Why? It's been flexing on all the other currencies. But Saudi Arabia is that little cornerstone I've mentioned. Watch that one. I told my students, keep your eye on the Middle East. When the shoe drops, you'll know. And it seems like that formation of the BRICS nation, that whole anti-dollar movement, and their currency is going to be backed by gold. Hello, that's real money. That's not crypto, and that's not dollars. That's real money. That's a real currency. That's a real currency that has a backing of what is considered biblical money, gold. You go into any country, gold's recognized. You start flashing, Confederate dollars, they're like, "What is that? That's monopoly money. Nobody's going to care about that." But reach inside of a case and pull out a bar of gold, and you'll be lucky if you live. So they're hoarding up all the gold. If you've been watching the last 12 months or so, there's been huge withdrawals from physical gold depositories where they're holding on to gold. There's been huge withdrawals of gold. Why? What is going on that everybody wants to get their hands on their gold? Because something really big's coming. And they already told you what it is. It's the Great Reset. It's the Great Shafting is what it is. And a lot of people are going to be caught off guard. They're going to be starving. They're going to be doing without because they think it's too science fiction to prepare for it. But all you have to do is look at the markets and they're telling you. Remember how crypto was supposed to be? This is the Robin Hood, the savior of all fiat currency victims. Go out into the world and transfer your currencies into Bitcoin. It seems to be there's a lot of celebrities and such, even YouTubers, that got themselves tangled up in a web of supporting these ideas and these schemes and scams and frauds, and now people are left without their money. Even my own son. I told Cody, I said, do not invest that money in that crap. Don't do it. Oh, Dad, you don't know. You're so old and fuddy-duddy. You're set in your ways. And just watch this young generation. I'm going to watch this young generation do exactly what the fuck the dot-com bubble did. I said, don't do it. Okay. See, you only get to be a old dinosaur in this business if you do the right things. And there's always these young guys that come out and they think they know something better than the old heads. And I'm sorry, wisdom comes with age. And I might be all racked up here with a back that's thrown out. But I'm going to tell you something. My net worth is bigger than yours, and my understanding about the markets is bigger than yours. If I'm telling you this stuff, I'm helping you. Don't arm wrestle me. It's not a competition. I'm trying to help you. You can, number one, prevent yourself from potentially going hungry or maybe even profit from it. How? Well, if the dollar is in fact topped out, and I'm not saying that specifically here, I'm looking for further evidence of that because it's about this time where it should be doing it anyway, because that sets up the moves that go into next year for grains. So I'm looking at the correlation between lower prices on dollar, and if everybody around the world saying we're not going to be able to produce as much wheat, corn, soybeans, oats, rice. And if you don't have rice in your house, bags of it, you should start getting it because it's probably going to be 10 times more expensive next year. Oh, I don't eat rice. You'll eat rice if you're hungry. You can do a lot of things with rice. But all those grains, if everything is what all these signs and indications are pointing to, less water being allowed to be used by farmers, they can't get as much fertilizer because it's too expensive. And their countries are saying, you can't produce this much because of the carbon footprint. You have too much nitrogen. Come on, man. Like, all you have to do is take a step back and look at it. Do you not see that that's being engineered? It's in your face right now. And I'm talking to the three guys that were in my private group that literally cussed me out in the email. I'm pissed off at you because you didn't listen to me. And now it's obvious. It's in your face. And when we get into 2023, if you didn't listen, you're going to so regret it. You can't make money if you're starving. You're not going to think clearly. And it's easy right now to go to the grocery store. Oh, it's there. ICT's full of shit. You have a 3-day stock. That's what you have at your grocery store. If shit breaks out, say a BOMB falls somewhere in the United States. We don't need to say who it was that did it, but every grocery store out there will empty immediately. Who's going to come and fill it back up? Nobody. You got what you got. Good luck. Everybody is 3 meals away from starvation. You don't realize it, but that's really what it is. So you have to prepare. It's all part of being prepared as a investor, having a clear mind to be able to decide what it is that you're going to be doing, because you cannot trade scared money. Scared money will not make you any money. And if you don't have these things sorted out beforehand, I have food stocks, I have water filters, I have water, I have means to medicate myself over the counter medications that would normally be a hindrance on being sick or whatever. You're not worried about COVID. You're not worried about RSV. They're trying to scare the hell out of you again. People get sick, folks. It's part of life. If you're going to die, you're going to die. Ain't nothing to worry about. You can't stop it. But you have to make preparations for these things to get even harder. And a lot of you young folks out there just think you're invincible. And I'm so thankful that this wasn't happening when I was 20, because I would have dismissed all of it. I would not be listening to me right now. I would have already turned this off and that would have been it. But I'm thankful I've been able to be in this world long enough to know and how it operates, and where we're heading is not pleasant. And all of you people out there that are running around thinking that you're going to have Forex forever, man, you just simply don't know. You don't know. So if the dollar's coming down, that gives you a gateway to have mega trades. That means these big, extrapolated, violent, one-way direction moves. That's a real bull market. That's a real commodity that has real supply and demand factors to it, because people need to eat. You don't need your British pounds. You don't need to buy British pounds in the US. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do it. You don't need to buy IBM shares or Amazon shares or Tesla shares. You don't need to do that. But you do need to fill your pantry up. You do need to put eggs, bread, milk, and those main staples in your house. Those things are real. That stuff is going to be hard to get your hands on going into 2023. If you can, it's going to be so expensive. It's going to be stressful. So you need to be able to mitigate that as early as you possibly can. Start, making preparations for that. And also preparing yourself for opportunities in the marketplace, because crypto ain't it, folks. It's not it. The commodity markets, the old wheat, corn, soybean, those types of moves that we saw years ago in the 90s, they're going to be trumped by enormous rallies. Coffee. I don't like coffee. I love the way it smells. I love the way it smells, except for the ones that my wife likes. They stink. I don't know why she even drinks that garbage, but hey, she says she loves the way it tastes. I think it smells like shit, but it is what it is. But Starbucks, or go into the coffee aisle in the grocery store, I love that. I love that smell. I have a collection of cologne that have two fragrances that smell like a coffee house. And probably like, what? It smells gorgeous. It's a gourmand fragrance. It's beautiful. It smells amazing. I get so many compliments, but coffee itself, I can't drink it. And you're probably saying, what the hell is he going on about coffee for? Coffee's a commodity. Coffee, you can make a lot of money in coffee trading it. And when it moves fast. Over $300 a cent, and you're looking at a move that could potentially go violently straight up. If people can't get what? If they can't get their caffeine through coffee, what happens to them? They're nuts, right? I can't function without my coffee. I'm glad I've never been a victim to that, but I can see I've been married to a woman that needs that stuff. She's addicted to it, but that's going to be a commodity that is affected by what's coming too. Sugar, sugar right now, unless you're a diabetic or something like that, you should be getting it. Cocoa, real quiet market right now. But all those things are going to be expensive going into the next year, because you're not going to be able to get your hands on them. But the main ones are grains to me. That's the one I'm watching. And we saw this big run up and we corrected, and everybody's forgot about it right now. Nobody's talking about corn and soybeans and wheat and oats